Gerald Celente is my guest. He is a lauded global trend forecaster who researches the future and what it may bring. Robot lovers, perhaps, flying cars, mood-altering chips. Do you think one day they'll plant chips in our brains to alter our moods or that kind of thing? Do you study that kind of thing at the Institute?
I mean, look what they're doing already. I mean, if I was alive, if I was a young kid now, they'd have me whacked out on all kinds of drugs. I mean, I'd be Ritalin, you know. I mean, I ran away from kindergarten, you know, 4.5 years old, you know. So they would have had me. I got caught kissing Teresa McKelvey at religious instructions. They would have had me locked up.
That's true.
You know, and of course they'll do anything they can. Look at the news.
Who's they?
The people in the people that are in the positions within the pharmaceutical industry, within politics, within the educational system, things get out of hand that they can't control. They want to control it with drugs. Big story just came out about all of these drugs that they're pumping into lower income children throughout the United States that are having trouble learning. Yeah, and that they're disruptive in class. So they're pumping these kids, rather than facing, how about this? Maybe there's a social problem here. Maybe the kid, you know, grew up in a family, he doesn't know who his father is. His mother's whacked out on meth. Oh, and you're going to fix it with some drugs. So are they going to plant chips in your head? Yeah. They're going to make you think that the junk food is actually food. So of course they're going to, the people that have an interest in making money in certain products, that's the they I'm talking about, the two theys. The theys that are interested in making a lot of money, don't care how they can make it, and the theys that are psychopaths or sociopaths that want power.
So a big pharma driving the bus, or say, I remember the hairspray incident, and they said hairspray isn't good for the atmosphere. So they changed, do you know about this? I bet you do.
Yeah.
So they changed the hairspray can, and now we can spray it because it's got a different kind of whatever, and it doesn't have the bad stuff, the FCCs or whatever it was. And so being good entrepreneurial North Americans, we sent all the hairspray cans to India or overseas.
This is what I'm saying.
So that, like, we didn't really care. We thought, well, we still have to sell it. We'll just sell it to people who don't know. Touch. We mentioned high-tech, high-touch society. What worries you today, or what makes you hopeful about internet and cyberspace and connection that way, as opposed to you and me?
What makes me hopeful about
mano
it,
a mano.
Yeah, what makes
Womano a mano.
What makes me hopeful about it is it's opened up a new communications vehicle that didn't exist before. We have people all over the world communicating with each other. And we were talking about one of the social networking trends and techno-tribalism, bringing people together with the same belief systems to propel something forward of a higher level. You know, there's a lot of people feeling that, you know, things are really bleak now. And my God, look what's going on. It's only going to get worse. Think back. When did the Renaissance happen? It happened after the Black Plague. Estimated 60% of the people in Europe were killed. So the people said to themselves, maybe we're not doing it right. Maybe we're screwing up along the line. So they went back. It was a Renaissance, a rebirth. We can have a rebirth. There were great things that we left behind. That doesn't mean we have to have them back here as they were. They used to say in Italy at the height of the Renaissance in Florence, alle Romana e alla antica, in the manner of the Romans and the ancients, to describe the quality of their work. Let's bring back quality. Let's bring back dignity. Let's bring back respect. We can have a change. The internet is that global communications method. It brings it all together. I follow what's going on in countries all over the world.
It's much more difficult to cover up. Unless the country says there will be none in this country, if you're in a China where they can take it away from you. But humans are ingenious, really, at getting around stuff. You probably noticed that.
Yeah, and they're trying to control it in virtually every country. I'm sure they're trying to control it here, and I know they're doing it in the States. You know, people don't realize what's going on in the States. You know, I do a lot of international interviews. I don't know who I'm talking to. I'll go do an interview from, you know, a Middle East country. I stopped doing them.
Why?
Because I don't know if the State Department would label that person a terrorist. And under the new National Defense Authorization Act signed by President Obama on New Year's Eve, anyone having involvement with a terrorist, suspected terrorist, The military could come in, break down my doors, take me away. No charges, no judge, no jury, no trial.
We remember McCarthyism, or I do. Not well, but I certainly know about it. And there, but for the grace of God, go all of us. Back to the Trend Institute, 300 different fields. So do you really look at whether or not we're going to drink coffee in our cars down the road? In Europe, as you know, they often don't even have cup holders in the cars because people actually get out of their cars and go to the coffee shop. And suddenly in North America, not that suddenly, Seattle started at Starbucks. What's the future of that? If you were thinking, gee, should I buy a coffee shop?
I did a presentation for the National Coffee Association in 1990 in Boca Raton, and there were about 350 coffee bars in the United States. And in my book, Trend Tracking, which I wrote in '88, I predicted the gourmet coffee trend. Now it's at a point where something new is going to fill into it. This is kind of peaked at this level. There's always new opportunities for new things. There's going to be, I believe there's going to be a new age trend. The one that began to happen back in the 70s and the 80s, it died in the 90s because people started making a lot of money really quickly during the dot-com bubble and the internet revolution. Right now, I have a saying as a Bronx boy, when people lose everything and have nothing left to lose, they lose it. So you're starting to see a lot of destabilization worldwide. When these kind of things start to happen, people start looking for the true meaning of life. And that's what we're going to start seeing now. Along with that comes new product development in the sense that, what can I do to make my life better? How can I live more healthy? How can I be more self-sustaining? So you're going to start seeing, I believe, a real drive toward new kinds of products that are life-enhancing and life-improving, and breaking down away from the junk model that we have now.
So somebody said to you, Gerald, should I start a bookstore? Will we be reading hardcover books down the road, or will we all be reading online and on tablets?
Well, I would have said of having a number of books published, that working with the publishing industry is no wonder why they're in the trouble that they are. Anybody that's been there knows it. Yeah, you can see these things coming, and they're not blind to it. But people, again, it goes back to the political model. People hold on to an ideology and a belief system, and they won't break it. How many people do you know that call themselves things like, I'm a conservative, I'm a liberal, I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat, I'm this or that? How about just being you? So it's the same thing in business. They hold on to the model, and they're afraid to change it. Could you imagine, when I began my business in 1981, I called it the Socioeconomic Research Institute of America. You know why? Because if you said trend forecasting, they'd say, what do? You forecast fashion trends? That's as far as it went. Now, I'll ask you this question. Name me one university in North America where they have trend forecasting courses. How to look ahead so you can plan ahead.
Well, you got me. I doubt there is one. I know you teach one.
Yeah.
What do you teach in the course?
We teach how to identify the trend, how to forecast where it's going, how to see the developments and look for new ones.
Of course. So
but imagine, here we're talking, and everybody that went to school, they pump history into your brain until you have multiple choice questions, the battle of whatever. How about teaching us how we can look ahead? How about teaching us how our actions that we're taking today are going to affect us in the future? What is so, brainstorming about that?
Well, and the power of the individual. Know thyself and be exactly who you are. That's a difficult place to get to.
Especially when you go to school, when they want you to be like everybody else.
Isn't it better now? Do you think, from the old days, worse?
I hated every day of school. No, it's terrible. It's terrible. The look, by their deeds you shall know them. Look at the numbers coming out of the American education system. We don't even win, place, or show in OECD, Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development data. It's disgusting. Look, if the country was doing so great educationally, you think we'd be in the problem that we're in?
No, I don't. But I think that there is kind of a chutzpah in America that says we are the best. So we do win place and show.
It's delusional.
But the truth is, You don't.
It's delusional.
I understand.
That's what I'm saying. It's a chutzpah. You're right.
We're the best, no matter what.
No matter what.
But we have to get back to what's the truth.
Exactly. Yeah, they're number one. Number one in the amount of people in jail. Number one in the wars that they're fighting around the world.
But not perhaps in math class.
Not in math.
Maybe the Chinese beat us there. I don't know, but what fascinating work you do.
Well, thank
and
you.
you're here for the Seed conference.
And this is one of my favorite ones I talk at of all of them, because it really reflects what I do in the sense that it's holistic. It's not economists only look at economic data. You know, people look at politics, geopolitical. And what Seed is, it's about everything. It's about your life. And also to the business ends of life, and to the educational ends of life, and the improvement ends of life. So I bring a different element into it to see where the future's going and how you could prepare, survive, and prevail.
You certainly do, and I know you have a black belt, so I'm not fooling with you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you
pleasure.
so much.
Thank you. Gerald Celente, one of the top trend forecasters in the world. Can I give you that?
By the forecasts are there.
By the PR bump, that's what it says.
No, they're there. All the forecasts are there. Yeah.
Okay. Remember, you can join me on Twitter at Fanny Kiefer, or catch our conversations on YouTube. There will be many more fascinating guests to come. Till then, thanks for watching Shaw TV and being with me today.